We're live.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look at this. We got a few seconds left. We'll get started here at 8 o'clock. Oh, there it is. It's 8 o'clock. Hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight. I have a sweatshirt on, but that's because I really didn't have a chance to change for you guys tonight. So you're gonna have to forgive the cash, but hey, that's okay. It's Tuesday night and that's what we do. So hopefully you've got your wine. Cheers. We're having a little J-Lore. If you are interested in having the same, we're going to be letting you know ahead of time what we're drinking. If you haven't met me, or you just happen to be stopping by, or you're catching the recorded version of this, hi, I'm Lene. I am a physician, an author, and creator of a website called the journeytowardjoy.com. And really, the purpose of this whole live is threefold. In fact, we were just talking to our friends about this earlier, but really the purpose of Vino and vulnerability is threefold. So the first reason why we're holding this tonight is because I like to talk about mental emotional health a lot because it's really important. And part of that is really understanding that, and even perfect strangers, something beautiful happens. There's a congruence with how you're projecting yourself to the world and how you feel inside. It's when we kind of fake it, or when someone asks us how we're doing and we say we're just fine, that there's an incongruence. And that really isn't healthy. And because we're all about health and not just physical health, but also mental, emotional health, that's one reason why I want to have these lives, because I want to be vulnerable with you, because it's really tough for me. It's really tough for me, even when my husband asks me how I'm doing, to say I'm fine and to be honest with how I'm feeling. So that's reason number one. The second reason is because it scares the bejesus out of me. Is that a word?
Sure.
It scares me. It totally scares me. To go live is terrifying because you can't edit this. And yeah, maybe I could erase it later, but there is no reading a script and it's not all fancy. You get what you get. And that takes a bit of courage. And because it terrifies me, I knew I needed to do it. The third reason is because I love wine. And I needed another excuse to have some. And what better reason than to come together with you guys and to share this community and maybe create something new, maybe a safe place where we get to just kind of be who we are, and that's okay. So if you're watching this, I would love to know where you're from. So maybe give a little shout out and say like what part of the world you're from. I would love to hear from you. Oh yes, cheers to you too, Cheryl. Yes. I love you too. Letha, thank you for being here. Love you. So yeah, let me know where you're from. We would love to see that in the little chat roll here. So tonight's topic is coping with the quarantine and being honest about how this whole time period has affected us. But before I do, I gotta have a sip. Hold on.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, after all, that's really why we're here.
This is really good. This cap's really nice.
It is good. It is good. Oh, and I'm sorry. This is my husband.
Hi, I'm John.
Oh my God. This is my husband, John. And I really wanted him to be here, not just for the support, but because he's an amazing guy. For those of you who know him, he's incredible. He's a parent to our son, dog, Axel, and also just an amazing support for this channel and for all of you guys. And so I really wanted him to be here to be able to share his experience with all of this quarantine stuff that's going on. So, so let's get down to brass tacks. And if there are any questions, feel free to hang on to them and maybe throw them up in the chat when we get closer to the end, and I'll remind you when that is, because I want to make sure that I answer all your questions if you have any. And John is going to help me just kind of navigate through this and share his experience, like I said, so we're going to tag team a little bit. But I would have to say that the biggest struggle I've had in all of this is when I go to the grocery store and everyone's wearing their masks, not being able to see people's face, not being able to see them smile, not being able to see their true expression, maybe to see their eyebrows lift unless they've had a lot of Botox, but not being able to see expression and see true kindness has really made me feel creeped out and a little bit alone. And yes, I understand we got to be 6 feet apart, and I completely support that, of course, as a practitioner. But I've just noticed that distance with our face has really made me feel emotionally distant from people I would normally say hi to and say, how's your day? And that mask kind of puts up a barrier. Like we were just talking the other day, we go in the grocery store and people don't really stop and talk anymore. It's not like the folks that check us out at New Seasons that we love. We would normally have a long conversation with them if there's no one in line about what's going on in their life. And we don't do that. And I feel like it's because I can't talk through my mask very well. They can't see my expressions. It's getting sweaty in there. And it's almost like we're all in a hurry just to get back home, even though getting out to the grocery store was actually kind of nice because we're no longer stuck in our little box. So that's been really tough. What about you? What have you found to be difficult?
Yeah, I would say the masks have been really hard for me as well. But the hardest part for me, I think, with just social distancing and everything, is not being able to see the people that we usually go out and hang out with and go have wine with and just, I mean, a lot of the other activities I can do without right now, but just the social aspect of this, now that it's kind of been taken away, has just been really tough. And so I don't know, that's just been really tough for me, and I didn't realize how much that I would miss seeing our friends that are like family to us. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and if you don't mind me sharing, mm-hmm. I would say the first couple of weeks when we would go out grocery shopping and you would come home, you were kind of an emotional wreck. Oh yeah, the masks really took a toll on me because I kind of compare it to when I was in Seattle during the riots in '99, and I saw a lot of really shocking things happen with the cops and the riot gear and things like that, and it created this emotional response in me back in Seattle, and so this sparked a lot of those same emotions for me. And even though that we're not dealing with rioting and we're not dealing with certain things happening like tear gases and things like that, but I'm feeling a lot of those same emotions because we're going through a type of trauma. It's just a different kind of trauma. In Seattle, it was very noticeable trauma, but this is kind of more subtle. And so I would come home from being at the store, and I would just feel this overwhelming sadness because it is hard when you can't see emotion, you can't see people the way that you're used to seeing them. Yeah. So that's just been really tough for me as well.
Yeah, and what's interesting, and give me a thumbs up if you're like me, in that sometimes when you're feeling down, you don't even know it. Mm-hmm. You don't even actually know that you're feeling a little bit depressed or a little bit down until until maybe someone points it out to you, or maybe you realize, oh, that wasn't like me. That comment I just made, or that behavior I just had, that's just not like me. And I feel like for me, getting in touch with my emotions is a difficult thing. And I have had to be really honest with myself and realize that I've been a little depressed because I thrive in social situations. Going to work is really fun. Being able to interact with my girls, and yeah, thumbs up, exactly. That's really tough. We rely on that social interaction to thrive. And yes, I thankfully get along with my spouse. But you've got to have girl time. You have to have girl time, because there's nothing like it. And you ladies know what I'm talking about. And even, my girlfriend that lives super close, I haven't really been able to, because of this, fully connect the way I'd want to. And even going for walks has been difficult, because you don't want to go for an intense walk with a mask on, and that's not really fun. So all that being said, is that I have definitely felt a little lonely and a little slightly depressed during this whole thing. Would you say that's fair to say?
Yeah.
Would you say that's fair to say? Anything else that you've kind of dealt with?
Not that I can think of offhand. I just think that, a lot of different things can bring it out, whether it's music or, TV or whatever, and then you start to feel the.
Yeah. And I would say the last thing for me, here's a little fun fact. Every year I tell myself I'm going to have a big birthday bash, and then I'm going to plan something. I do this every year. And I think, ooh, next year is going to be the big one. That's the one that I'm just going to jazz it up, and we're going to go nuts. We're going to fly somewhere, or stay in a cool hotel, or there's going to be something fun planned. And I would say it comes down to the month before my birthday, and I have nothing planned. And then it comes down to 2 weeks, a week, a day, and I haven't planned a thing. And then I get kind of down because, my birthday came and went and I didn't do anything exciting. So this was going to be the year. I decided in January, this is going to be the year. I turned 45. I'm going to do something really exciting. I'm going to have a party. There's going to be lots of wine involved. Maybe we'll go somewhere that I've always wanted to go. And then COVID happens. And I'm telling you, if it wasn't for my family and my girlfriend and my husband that planned a little fun little COVID-friendly soiree, like, it would have been tough, because we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't go to a fun restaurant. We couldn't go wine tasting. We couldn't travel anywhere. Couldn't go to the beach. We live here in Portland, and being able to go to the beach, thankfully, is pretty accessible. But man, like, it was tough, and that's just a birthday, and I can't compare that to what some people are really going through, because it's been financially difficult. Some people have dealt with loss and death, and here I am concerned about my birthday. But the whole purpose is to be honest with you guys about what the struggle has been. So. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about as far as like what's been difficult for you? Because I want to tell these people the creative and not so creative ways that we've been coping with the quarantine. That. Okay. Well, let's talk about the obvious and the not so obvious methods.
Yeah.
The obvious.
Yeah. Cheers.
This would be the obvious. This is what we've been doing. And let me tell you, when you don't have to go to work, you can start drinking any time of the day. Any time of the day. And no one's going to say, oh, you can't do that.
You can have Sunday brunch on a Tuesday.
We've had Sunday brunch on a Tuesday. We've had Sunday brunch at 7 p.m. on a Monday. It works. It totally works. So this is one way that we have totally been coping. And for those of you who follow any of the blogs that I do on health and wellness and fitness, I never said I was 100% the best example. So let's just get that out of the way. But thank goodness for wine. Seriously, thank goodness for wine. I would say also fun treats, like safe, comforting foods. If you haven't experienced them, my friend Dr. Marcia Wiggins is the snack queen, and there are certain things that she'll bring into the office that have become my new favorites.
Yes.
If you have a Trader Joe's near you, what are those things called? The brownie bites?
Brownie bites.
Brownie bites, the keto-friendly brownie bites.
And the secret is to put them in the fridge, and they taste like they taste like 6 times better, even though they're like amazing. Not in the fridge. They taste 6 times better in the fridge.
That is very true. So get yourself some brownie bites from Trader Joe's. The Smart Sweets, the Swedish fish.
Yeah.
The Smart Sweets.
There's like 3 grams of sugar in the Smart Sweets, and they're stevia sweetened, so you don't feel guilty, and they taste amazing, like real Swedish fish. And there's gummy bears and sour gummy bears and peach rings, which we didn't think we were gonna like the peach rings, but they're not like the crappy ones that you got in the gas station when you were 9. They're like
the crappy ones. They're not like those disgusting ones. That would leave a bad aftertaste. They know what I'm talking about. Yeah. The other thing that has really helped is focusing on a growth mindset, whether it's listening to a podcast or reading listening to an Audible book, or prayer, or just anything that involves growth and a direction forward is so beneficial. It's so beneficial because it kind of gets your mind off of yourself. That's been helpful. I think also just trying to figure out what we can do to contribute. And I will be honest with you, that is not something I've done a great job at. All I know is that when I try and smile at a stranger, even for a few seconds, I feel like I'm doing something. I feel like I'm contributing, or if I tell a neighbor, hey, if you need anything, I'm here. There's other people that are doing amazing things. We had someone here in Portland that raised $50,000 for the food bank simply by baking and selling her cinnamon rolls. Yeah, that's incredible.
That's really cool.
That's incredible. So really kind of getting outside of ourselves, I know is helpful. I just don't do it as much. I have a few other things, but I wanted to know what you're kind of doing besides wine to cope.
I think there's a few things that I've been doing. One thing that's cool for me is, so I'm in the pest control business, and my customers are talking longer, and I'm seeing a lot of them need to talk longer because they're not seeing people in the real world anymore.
Yeah.
And some of my customers don't go grocery shopping, and so just standing there at their door and being 6 feet or even a little farther from them if they're not comfortable, and then what used to be maybe a 10-minute conversation is now a 20-minute, and the people that used to talk for 20 minutes are talking for 40 minutes. So I swear it's double.
Yeah.
Now my days are going a little longer, but that's what people need right now.
Yep.
They need somebody to, check in with and talk to and tell them, tell me stupid stories about their life and about fun things that they did or how boring their week was or whatever it is. But it's great, and I think it's helping everybody cope because we need those kinds of interactions. And
absolutely.
So we talked about food. We talked about, I don't know. I feel like there's another fun coping mechanism that we've done. This
we allowed ourselves to treat ourselves to something.
Oh, that's true too. We don't do a lot of restaurant. In our normal everyday lives before COVID, we don't spend a lot of money on restaurants. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a more of a birthday or anniversary thing, and so what we've been doing once a week or so is treating ourselves to some takeout. And we won't talk about last week weekends
last year
because that was a disaster.
That was a disaster.
But most weekends we find somewhere really close that we can pick up and take out and get some good food, and nobody has to cook, and that's really great. And supporting local businesses
and treating yourself to some decent loungewear.
Oh yeah,
there's something about, and I know that Marie Kondo would totally agree with me on this, but there's something about when you're at home, not wearing scrubbies, kind of like what I'm doing now, but not wearing your scrubbies, but actually wearing nice loungewear that you feel confident in is something that you should do because you deserve it. And we both had just scrubby loungewear. So we kind of treated ourselves to not expensive stuff, but just decent loungewear that we felt like, okay, like, well, if we're going to be hanging out around the house all day, we might as well be some softer sweats.
Yeah.
And I would say, being that we can get outside pretty safely, the daily walks, we know that that's going to benefit our mental health. We know that there's been plenty of studies on how getting outside is going to improve your mental emotional health. And we've seen in our neighborhood, because it's very walk friendly, the same people every day, morning, afternoon, because we need to walk our dog, and in the evening as well. Mm-hmm. And it's been really nice to see the same people out walking at the same time during the day. And it's almost a way to get your social interaction in at the same time you're getting fresh air and the physical benefits of being outside. So I would say that being active, I'm more active now than I think I've ever been in my life.
And I know our neighbors are, because like she said, our neighborhood is very active, but it's probably like three to 6 times busier right now. And some people, you see them, 2 or 3 on like 2 or 3 walks. Yeah. Which is really interesting.
Yeah. And can I tell you a secret, guys? Let me tell you a secret. So we've lived here now 2 years, and I'm telling you, I would go out, take the dog for a walk, and I made a specific effort. Like, I would go out of my way to say good morning to people. And I would say I'd be lucky if out of 5 people, 2 of them responded and said good morning back. And now it's like people just say good morning, good afternoon, good evening before you can even give them eye contact. Yeah. They're so excited to be able to interact with you. So if there's something beautiful that has happened in all of this, I would say people kind of feeling like you're grounded by the government. And that's kind of how I feel. I feel like I'm grounded by the government. And that's okay. But that feeling of being grounded makes you want to rebel a little bit. And so I feel like our neighbors who normally wouldn't be social now, like you were saying in your business, like your customers want to interact with you so much longer than they used to. Yeah. I think that that's the beauty in all of this, because you hear the slogans, we're better together and things like that. But what the hell does that really mean? Because people aren't going to be paying your bills for you. That it's kind of tough because what does it mean we're better together? But when you go out in your neighborhood and you see these people who are just as hungry for social interaction as you are, you kind of get an idea of like, okay, that's what it means. That's what it means. And so before we close, because we don't want to take up your whole evening or morning, depending on where you're at in the world. I want to get some questions, if there are any questions. If there aren't, that's totally fine. We'll just pull that up a little bit. But before we close, coming from up there, so I don't know. Okay. Oh, what did I get? Sarah Chong. Hi, Sarah. Nice. Oh, mwah, mwah, mwah. Sarah, what did I get?
Carson.
Oh, Carson. Hey, wave back, Carson. Hello, my dear. Love you. What did I get? So there is a great brand. Are you ready for this? For all you fashion folks. There is a great brand. I think Nordstrom carries it. It's called Alo, A-L-O. Their sweats are like pajamas. They're brilliant. So if you can check them out, I think they're on Nordstrom.com. Alo, A-L-O. And there's also a brand on Amazon. Now, I was a little skeptical. I'm kind of a t-shirt freak. I love t-shirts, and there's a brand on Amazon called, oh boy, I'm gonna. Of course, I totally forget it right now. Oh my goodness, Sarah, I'll get back to you. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna answer a question.
Please do.
Somebody
Yes.
asked, what's the hardest part of social distancing?
Oh my gosh.
And I'll give my answer, and then
Please do.
So in my field, I work around a lot of people, and I work in the outdoors. And the hardest part was a few people have come up to me, literally like pretty much almost touching me. They weren't touching me, but it was when, it wasn't before everybody knew that we were supposed to be distancing and wearing masks. It was like way, way, way after. And there was a guy that was painting houses, and he wanted a card from me. And so that's been tough for me, is that some of those little interactions where most people have really great cues and really great, I don't know the right word right now, but like basically people have great boundaries when it comes to social distancing. And I do notice some people want to go a little more extreme, and some people want a little less extreme. But the hard ones for me are the people that don't understand it at all, and then they've been just basically would put their hand on my shoulder if I would let them, which didn't happen. But
yeah. So
that's been tough for me. And then what about for you? I mean,
with the social distancing.
Yeah.
You know what? Well, since this is all about vulnerability, what's been hard for me is not touching people. Like trying to respect other people's boundaries, and trying to remind myself, oh yeah, I can't just get up 2 feet from their face and start talking to them like I would normally sometimes, or just go up and pet their dog. Like now we live in an era where you've got to maintain your space from that person, and you have to ask permission for these types of things. And so that's been kind of tough for me, because I find myself automatically, or like reaching down if they drop something, trying to grab it for them and hand it back to them. And then you realize, oh, you can't do that. You can't just grab someone's stuff and hand it to them. So that's been tough. Sarah Chong, it was Daily Ritual is the brand on Amazon.
That is the time and courage.
When it's all over. I love that question. What's something that we'll continue to do moving forward? Oh, I love that question. Well, I think something I'm going to continue to do is to act like our community here in this neighborhood is just as tight 10 weeks from now or 10 months from now as it is today, as though we're in this together all the time, that it's not just a season. I think that I just want to love on people the way I want to be loved on, like just go out of your way to be nice to people. And some people are uncomfortable with that, but I'm just going to stop caring. Everybody needs to be loved. And I think that just going out of your way to, when it's acceptable to invite friends over for wine or I don't know, like being neighborly. Being neighborly.
Carson's asking a great question. She's asking what are we looking forward to in the months coming after all this?
Go back to our wine bar in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
and see all of our friends that we miss. And
Can I cut you off real quick?
Please cut me off.
I've been really surprised at the things that I'm fine without. Like, cause if you were to like role play this scenario before all this happened, I think I would have been really bummed out about restaurants and some of those things. And I know that restaurants and some of those things are really important to other people, you know, but for me, for whatever reason, some of that hasn't really affected me.
Yeah.
But there are other things that have been really hard, and so for the coming months, I mean, just getting together with people, and I mean, the dog parks are open now in some areas, so that's been really amazing.
If I could go up and hug all the dog owners and like hug the dogs, without their owners freaking out, I probably would do it. And Lori and Carson and Sarah, yes, I would hug all over you.
Handshakes and hugs too, guys.
Thank you, Lori. I love it. I love it. That's the best comment ever. Oh my gosh. Any other great questions?
Yeah, I'm sitting up like this so I can look at the device that's both.
We're looking at two devices in case you wonder what our issue is.
I'm doing that.
So,
last question.
Yes.
Top best favorite, most notable memory from your COVID experience. Oh, I love that's an amazing question.
That's the best
Our
question
most
ever,
memorable.
Carson.
Well, okay, what do you think?
Oh, best.
Okay.
You go first. You go first. Mine's kind of weird.
Night brunch or brunch. We did a couple brunches. Night brunch and morning brunch were really great. We this one of them, the sun was out and it was beautiful, and we had bubbly, and Lene makes amazing hollandaise.
Thanks, babe.
Most of you know.
If you guys want to come over and have hollandaise sauce when it's safe, you're welcome to. Please.
So that's for me. What about you?
Well, mine's a little strange.
Okay.
My husband here is an empath, and he has lots of deep emotion, which is really funny. We're kind of opposites. Like, I don't even know really what I'm feeling half the time. And sometimes he's just so overwhelmed with feeling, he just doesn't know what to do. And I'll never forget, I think it's going to stick in my mind. I'll never forget the day he came home from the grocery store. And he just wanted to pick up a couple things. And he takes off his mask and he's in the kitchen and he's just standing there and he just starts crying.
Yeah.
He just starts crying. And I was like, babe, what's wrong? And he's like, this is just really hard. This whole grocery thing, like 6 feet apart, not being able to really interact with people is really tough. And I think we didn't really know how traumatizing it was, but it was a beautiful moment because he was being honest with how he felt, and we had this nice exchange where, you know, I tried to be there for him as best I could, and so, you know, I love that. I love that. I love that you were just willing to be honest and have a breakdown in our kitchen over the fact that you were upset you couldn't say hi to our friends at New Seasons the way you wanted to. That's such a great question. Such a great question.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't want to keep you guys too long. Are there any other questions? John is my spirit animal. Oh my God.
We love you all.
Oh, you're so sweet. I love you. So we're talking about next week's topic, and we'll announce the wine that we're going to have later. But next week's topic, I think, is going to be marriage and what no one tells you. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, because it seems to be an ever-growing list.
Yeah, and the more people you talk to, the more people will tell you some pretty cool things.
Oh my gosh, yes. So, and if you're not married and you're in a relationship, you're invited too, because dang it,
And maybe instead of questions, we can have some people pipe up and tell stories.
Oh, I would love it.
If we can,
I would love it. Will you guys please do that? I would love to hear your stories. All right. Well, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to be with us tonight. It's so sweet. You know, here it is, a Tuesday night. You could be anywhere.
You could be bowling.
You could be bowling.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you couldn't, because I don't know that they're really open right now. But you could be bowling in your house. You could be setting up wine bottles and knocking them over with a basketball. Yes, but you chose not to do that. You chose not to do that. So I just wanted to thank you all for being here, and thank you for your questions. And man, if you need any help with, let's say, mindset or anything like that, I have a bunch of free videos on YouTube to my YouTube family. You're already aware of that. The life-changing magic of creating your mindset is one of my favorite videos, because it's really helped me get through this. So I need you all to know that I love you. We love you. We're here for you. Our whole purpose of doing this was to connect with you and to let you know that you're not alone. And if you have struggled with even the slightest things, because I know our problems that we talked about tonight do not compare to many other people. And a lot of you are going through some really, really tough stuff right now. And I just need you to know that, you know, the whole we're in it together, let's just make that a thing, that you know that we really are in it together. And if you want to show up to these, or you want to email me, my email is drlinder@journeytowardjoy.com. I want to hear from you.
Yeah, especially if we missed questions or comments.
If we missed any of your questions, and we'll answer them next week. But I just need you to know that we love you. We love you. Oh, let's see. What am I missing here? So I want you guys to leave comments down below, please. I want to hear about any topics that you would like to hear moving forward. I also want to know your wine suggestions. If there's something that you want us to feature or to drink with you, we would love to know what that is. So anyway, I love you guys, and I just need you to know that it has been not as difficult as I thought it was going to be, doing something that terrified me, like going live, because of you. So thank you for being here. Thank you to my friends who have shown their support by being here. You mean the world to me. And I love you guys. I said that already, but I just can't help myself. So big hugs, big virtual kisses to you. Mwah. And I'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Carson, let's see. Oh, yes.